105.9 FM and AM 630, Washington's Mall, WMAL, where Washington comes to talk.
A few moments ago, we had Reince, Priebus, chairman of the RNC, on. He was talking about some of the criticism been leveled at him by none other than Mark Levin. You heard what Reince Priebus had to say. Mark Levin immediately picked up the phone, and he had something he wanted to add to that conversation. Hello, Mr. Levin. How are you today?
Hey, boys. I happen to live in this state.
Yeah.
So I happen to see what's going on. I happen to be at these rallies where none of the RNC upper staff take time. Why? We have 50 state races going on here. We have one competitive state. They're talking about $3 million they've spent here. That $3 million was primarily authorized and has been spent as a result of a report they put out after the election. You remember? Where they did an anal exam of themselves and they said, we need to have offices in minority areas. And
the autopsy they did.
That has nothing to do with turning out the vote on Election Day. You know who's manning the polls I voted at? My neighbors. You know who's getting people out here? Church groups, Tea Party groups, activists, conservatives, taxpayer activists. That's who. The RNC isn't anywhere here. They haven't been on the air. It is infuriating to me. Is this what the Republican Party's going to do when it comes to the next big election? They are fooling themselves.
Mark Levin, the big question here then is how does it compare to what kind of get-out-the-vote effort Terry McAuliffe is getting from the DNC? I mean, what is the DNC doing for Terry that you see out there?
Listen, all this stuff is great for tomorrow. My attitude today is get off your ass and vote. I don't care what Larry Sabato has to say. I don't care what Real Clear Politics has to say. Reince Priebus showing up the weekend before like he did in New Jersey. In case there's a victory, he could talk about his great ground game. And if there isn't, complain about the candidate. I am sick and tired of these guys positioning themselves. I live in this state. I purposely don't live in Maryland. This is a relatively free state, and it will cease to be so if they win. So my advice is, forget about all the status. Get off your ass and vote.
All right.
Well, and could you tell us what you really think?
As far as Reince Priebus goes, how about a little bit of truth, pal? How about a little bit of truth?
All right, Mark Levin already on fire, and you know he'll be on fire from 6 to 9 tonight. He'll be doing, of course, the Mark Levin Show, but then covering the election here on WMAL.
And at 9 o'clock, then we will have election coverage as well, picking up where the great one leaves off.